Hi there, this is Mark Stokes Denson of Denson Blade Limited, and I'm just going to take you into a project we're working on right now. This is for a client in a 1930s house in Liverpool, and I find that the properties in Liverpool, loads of 1930s properties, a bit like London, are not always actually very suitable for modern family life. In the 1930s, things were different. Kitchens weren't as important as they are now. Bedroom requirements weren't the same, and so the building technology is a bit different, so you get some quirks in 1930s that are a bit unusual. This client had no idea, knew they didn't like the space and wanted a different space, but had no idea what they wanted to do. So very confused and really unsure. So what we've got here is this house here is the house as it is. Currently as it is, and you can walk through these properties. They're all sort of fully kitted out with stairs, etc. So you can see into the lounge and the spaces. I'll take the roofs off and things in a moment. But the idea here, as you can see, was looking at different ways that we can achieve more space. So here, as you can see, peeping through here, we looked at maybe converting the loft, because it's got a very decent pitch on it, so loft conversion is a possibility. So, making the space inside the loft usable. There's obviously purl in the way in there because I left the roof structure in, but obviously when that'd be taken out. But you can see the loft conversion, or whether we extend on top of the garage and create an extra bedroom that way, and how that works potentially with the stairs and how you get into that and what that could be. And then we looked at basically keeping the house as walls and looking at taking out internal walls to make the space better downstairs. This is one option that can be done. And in here, when I take the roof off, you'll see what that is, but we take out the internal wall, so it reduces the cost, so depending on the budget. And then here we're looking at whether we extend the house at the rear somehow and make the space work that way. So that, some options. These are just models, rough ideas as to what could be available. And the beauty of these is they're fully modelled up, so we can see here that we've got if I take off the roofs and the felts, etc., it starts to strip out all the property. So you can see, obviously, we've actually put in all the purlings and the trusses where necessary, and here we have as well. Just going to shift them out, make sure the wall plates are out and the fascia soffits, etc. Get rid of the ridge tiles, right? So we can start to see now we've got take off loft plasterboard, so we can see that how the loft was going to work potentially. So in some of these there's no alterations to the upstairs, and some there is. So we can see the staircase was put in for the loft conversion. As I start to take out the ceilings upstairs, you can see then effectively now if that's loft floor, that's why I'll take that as well. Loft floor. Right, there you go. So you can start to see how the layouts were upstairs. So we can see here in the loft we've got the bathroom at the back, the original bedroom, the master, and the second bedroom, which is what all this is. It's the same here. You can start to see here how by going into the roof space, and I'm just going to actually take that off because that should be part of the ceilings, the proper ceilings. What I'm just going to do is try and take it out so that it actually there, that's better, right. Let me come out now. So you can see that by building above, we're able to create, make the front room bigger and create an extra room potentially. So you still got, so it turns this house from a 3-bed to a 4-bed. It makes the box room a lot more usable. That was one option. You can see here in this one where we've actually left it all the same. So what this is about is really, if I just take out the upstairs floors, I'll start to show you, because the options here are to either look at building an extension or using the existing space. Okay, so we want to look at all options. So here we can see, if I take out the, there was a spine wall here, so you can see the gap. You can see the gap here. So there was a spine wall here under this wall, so it'd have to be supported with steel to make that work. But you can increase the kitchen size, which is part of the problem with this house, by just pinching a bit off the lounge without having to extend, and that makes a good use of that space. You can start to see how that works. And here we've got similarly, this was putting an extension out back to make the kitchen larger at the rear. As you can see here, this is the original outside wall, so it would mean that the extension can become a lot bigger. You can put Velux in it, etc. These are sort of quick mock-ups to give the client a very good idea as to what they could and couldn't do. Now I'm just going to put them all back together quickly. Yeah, there you go. Now we've got some section through, so to save messing around, we can actually just there you go, chop off the roofs. So you can see there, layout's not changed, what the upstairs would look like, the different properties. This is the only variant here, really. And then as I go down to the next level, you can see now these are existing. Ooh, spinning around too much. I don't always feel queasy, by the way. But yeah, you can start to see how we've come with ideas. Existing house. So these didn't change downstairs at all. Some of these models, but this was the biggest change downstairs. So you can see how this wall. This is the wall here. That's the original wall. Which exists, and you go under the stairs into the kitchen here. It's quite common in these houses. It feels a bit awkward as a space. You have to sort of duck under. It makes you feel like you want to duck under the stairs. You may find that in your house here in Liverpool. But by rejigging these walls a little, you can make the space work differently. So here, for example, just simply moving that wall makes that duck not happen, and it increases the space in the kitchen slightly. And then we can just take out the spine wall here and make this space more usable. So that's quite a cost-effective way of making the kitchen a lot better. And here is the extension. Again, still moving the wall. The stairs aren't here, but you can see where they would be. Still moving the wall forward to increase the space, but the footprint of that extension is quite significant. And this is the way they went. So what I'm now going to show you is what we're doing next, because we're up to a certain point now where I'm not going to save any changes because I don't want to. Yeah, so what we've got here is the way I work from here on. We've actually come up with some ideas, and the client's now settled on having the extension. So we take the architect's plan, which you can see here has been done by Tom Black, good architect, nice guy. But we take his plan, bring it into the software, and actually physically model the drawings. This is life size as well. So this is done at 100% scale. This drawing's been blown up to the right size, and using Tom's dimensions, we've been able to then make the house the correct size. Now, it's not perfect, it requires a site measure, but it's a darn sight better than most. And it turns what is a flat drawing, which people can't often see, into something that starts to come together. Now, at this stage, what we're doing is we're just modelling rough ideas for kitchens. Now, there's two here, that's a copy of this one. That should be the upstairs, but you can see what we're starting to do here. I'm experimenting with the idea of at the moment you can see how restrictive this space is with the wall. We've got a nib which is supporting steel. You can see here there's steel going across. There'll be steel going across this. There's already existing steel here for the opening, and there's a large piece of steel holding up the wall where the bifolders go to open up that space. So. And there's a downstairs toilet getting put in under the stairs, so we can see that the door's opening here against the wall to open up the room, but you're going to be faced with a unit of some description, which personally I don't like. It creates a bit of a block, if you ask me, a bit of a wall. And really the problem is this wall and this nib, it's all a bit awkward. You kind of got to walk around it, and you're going to have to go through the door, walk around the unit, get it, walk around. It doesn't have a nice flow about it. So, this is kind of what the client's got in mind, to be honest. And this idea here is a lot more easy. You take out the spine wall, you can kind of see through the wireframe it's gone. We drop the spine wall out, and then we cover it with floor to ceiling. Again, the client might hate this, but I'm just talking about what we're doing. So, take out the wall, bridge it with some steel, and hide that within the units. And then we can continue the steel across here and across here. That's all the same. And then make the units cover most of that up, to be fair. And this can make quite an impressive feature, because you get functional kitchen units on one side, and on the back side of this you can make a real statement. This could be clad in really great wood, or it could be a feature wall of some description, or it could be anything. If I have a fire in it, we turn the lounge round. It can make a really incredible feature, this. You could even split the storage. So on one side, you could have the telly up here. You could split the storage a bit, so you've got units down here, and then effectively on the kitchen, these units are blank down here, but look like kitchen units that you can't open. And then the main function's here. So it could kind of be so multifunctional. So it operates on both sides. They've been made slightly deeper here to give it a bit more. Very flexible, and a great idea, because now you can see. You don't have to walk around anything. This wall's not changed. The door would open, bang. You'd have to put a door stop on it, obviously, but the door could open, and this then creates the divide. This then could be places where the ovens are, ovens, microwaves, fridge. This could be a pantry cupboard almost. It's very, very flexible idea, to be honest. And this would be half and half. So you'd almost have a 600 unit or a dummy of 300. This could be a pull-out mechanism, and this just be covering up the chimney breast. So many options. It's really quite a nice idea. The great thing about it is you can walk straight through without walking around anything. You've got a lot more space here in the kitchen. This bit works a lot nicer. You've got plenty of space on the dining table, and even room for a little seat at the end. Or you could even make a big feature on the back of here. So at the moment we're experimenting with ideas, and all we literally try and do is exhaust as many ideas as we can, so that when the client makes a decision on what they want, then they've seen all options. So they might not like the tall storage here, they might want tall storage here. So basically we try and model up all the different options, and we at the moment we just stick with, these are 600 base units. They're done like this because as you can see, it's very quick to do. Very quick to do. And it means that I can very quickly give a sense, and it's not a design, it's a sense at the moment, of what it would look like. And then ultimately, obviously, this can be walked through. The client had spoke about putting tool units here, maybe. The great thing about doing it like this is I can actually show what that's going to look like. We can even walk through it to some degree. I mean, this isn't completely finished, because as we get past this stage, I then start to actually model the house up, because the objective is here. Let me put the eyes in the right place, so an average height. The objective is you can walk into the property, so you can start to see what it's going to look like. Now, if you imagine with the flooring and the wall colours, that's what you'll be faced with is coming to the kitchen. That's why I'm not keen on it, because then you've got to then look past it and walk round. Whereas the other idea is a lot more open. You see more of the view. I just think if you're going to open it back, you need to maximise that. And the idea before, if we show the comparisons between this now, let me zoom out and get out of it. So you've seen how that will, how you'll be confronted by that. Now let's take exactly the same layout, exactly the same shape, room. Now watch what happens. I bob on the feet. Let me get to the right height. Yeah, about there. I'm going to bob in. We're going to walk into the house. Now I want you to remember this is, decent size extension, and therefore, I think you want a nice, see how that's more open feeling? Boom. Look at that. That doesn't feel confrontational. I can see all the way through. I don't have to walk around anything. I've not got a bit of wall here. I can see exactly where I'm going. The space itself feels a lot more open. You know, kitchen sink here maybe, you can look out, do the pots, cooking facility, or vice versa. You could double up this island and make it a bit thicker, so you could have the cooking here and the sink here, whichever you want, so it depends which you prefer. But you can see already that there's just a sense it's more open, you know, and as you, yeah, so you know, this is how we work with people. So what we're trying to do is exhaust ideas and get to the point where a client can see and get a sense of what it is they're actually possibly going to end up with. And that's why we work in these big blocks, because irrelevant of what a kitchen design is, but the most expensive kitchen in the world is still fundamentally units, and therefore is going to end up feeling and looking like a block. So we work in this format for now, just to get the very basic layouts right. And this allows us to quickly start to put ideas together in different layouts and experiments, so that we end up with as many ideas as possible, as quickly as possible. And there's no personality in it, right? We're not getting caught up on whether like the colour, what the worktops are, what appliances go in. It's all a bit irrelevant at this stage. The main focus here is let's just get the shape right, let's get the flow of the room right, let's get the shapes right, let's get you settled on what we're focusing on. The design and the colouring can come later. So it's a design principle. If a design works in black and white, it will work in anything. So we like to keep it like this, get it working in this format, and we're laughing. So I hope that helps. That's just a bit of an insight into how we design. So you can see here I'm just going to model up the kitchen a little more. That probably comes out too far, because perhaps want the dining table up here. If they do, we have to shorten this. But it gives you a sense of if these are 600, we've got 2.4 3 metre run. Gives you a sense of how long that is, how much space. You know, the other bit I'm not keen on here is this. You've got a door, and you know you sort of kind of go around the kitchen into quite a narrow space. That'll probably feel a bit awkward when you live with it. Even if you put an angled unit, it's still going to feel a bit awkward. But you know, you can't really alter that. That's where that is. You know, we could have put the door somewhere else, through here, maybe under the stairs, but with the loo being here, we can't really do that. So the door's got to stay there. It's got to work with some parts of the building as it is. But as you can see, the property itself now is starting to take shape. We've got the whole extension, opened up the rear. You see where the Veluxes are going here to shed light in it. So all these will be put in eventually, and it will be able to light the room exactly as it starts to evolve into the design. But the key part here is this is how we work when we start to model. We work in very basic shape, and that's it. So thanks for watching.